Deep in the heart of a lush alien jungle on the distant planet Avena, the Amazonian people thrived. These tall, ethereal beings with iridescent skin and glowing eyes lived in harmony with their surroundings. They were guardians of the rare and mystical lumina crystals, stones that could store and amplify infinite amounts of energy. The crystals were a treasure to the Amazonians, but a curse to outsiders who sought their power for selfish gain. A human expedition had arrived on Avena under the guise of peaceful exploration. Led by corporate magnate Victor Hargrove, the group had one true goal: to harvest the Lumina crystals at any cost. Hargrove's team included mercenaries equipped with advanced technology, prepared to dominate the Amazonian people if diplomacy failed. One man, however, had a different purpose. Ethan Carter, a scientist and linguist specializing in alien cultures, had joined the expedition with genuine curiosity. Ethan had spent years studying the myths of Avena and was eager to meet the Amazonians to learn about their connection with the Lumina crystals. Ethan first encountered Lyra, one of the Amazonian leaders, when he wandered away from the camp. Lyra's luminescent hair shimmered like the moonlight as she emerged from the dense foliage, her spear aimed at Ethan's chest. "You do not belong here, human," she said in a voice that carried both authority and caution. Ethan raised his hands in surrender. "I come in peace. I'm not like the others. I want to understand your people, not harm them." Lyra studied him, her glowing eyes searching his for deceit. Seeing none, she lowered her spear. "If you speak the truth, you will help us protect our home." Over the following days, Ethan spent time with the Amazonians, learning their language, customs, and the sacred bond they shared with the Lumina crystals. The crystals were not mere resources. They were lifelines, tied to the very essence of Avena's ecosystem. Lyra and Ethan formed a tentative friendship, bound by their mutual desire to protect her people. Meanwhile, Hargrove grew impatient. His mercenaries began their assault, using electromagnetic weapons to disrupt the Amazonians' defenses. The once tranquil jungle became a battleground as trees fell and the air filled with smoke. Ethan, horrified by the destruction, knew he had to act. He approached Lyra with a desperate plan. "Your people have technology tied to the crystals, right? Can it amplify energy to create a barrier or disable their weapons?" Lyra nodded. "It is dangerous. The crystals could be destroyed. If we don't try, your home will be destroyed anyway," Ethan urged. Reluctantly, Lyra agreed. With Ethan's help, the Amazonians activated an ancient device buried deep within the jungle. As the Lumina crystals pulsed with radiant light, a dome of energy enveloped the forest. The mercenaries' weapons short-circuited, and Hargrove's forces were forced to retreat. In the aftermath, the Amazonians celebrated their victory, but the cost weighed heavily on Lyra. Some crystals had shattered during the battle, leaving scars in the jungle. Ethan, feeling responsible, vowed to stay on Avena and help restore what had been lost. But their relief was short-lived. A shadow lingered over the jungle as the destruction awakened something ancient and malevolent, a force tied to the Lumina crystals themselves. The Amazonians' ancestors had sealed it away long ago, and now, weakened by the battle, the crystal's protective energy faltered. This entity, known as the Umbra, fed on the crystal's power and thrived on despair and fear. Its emergence darkened the skies and sent waves of dread through Avena. The Umbra's influence spread quickly. Plants withered, animals turned feral, and some Amazonians fell under its control, their glowing eyes now dull and lifeless. Lyra's people were on the brink of collapse, and she blamed Ethan. "If not for your kind, this would never have happened," she said, her voice trembling with anger and grief. Ethan, devastated by her words but determined to make things right, delved into the ancient texts he had studied. He discovered that the Umbra could only be defeated by reigniting the full power of the Lumina crystals, but it required a sacrifice, a life willingly given to infuse the crystals with the energy of hope and love, the antithesis of the Umbra's essence. Lyra initially refused to listen to Ethan's plan. "You think we will sacrifice one of our own for a mistake brought upon by humans?" she spat. "Not one of your own," Ethan said quietly.
"Me."
Lyra froze, her glowing eyes wide with shock. You would give your life for people that are not your own? You are my people now, Ethan said, his voice steady. I've seen your world, your beauty, your strength. If my life can protect that, it's a price I'm willing to pay. Reluctantly, Lyra agreed, but as the ritual began, she felt a deep ache in her heart. Ethan had become more than an ally. In their short time together, he had shown her kindness and courage she had not believed possible in a human. The ritual was harrowing. Ethan stood at the center of the crystal chamber as the Amazonians chanted, their voices resonating with the crystal's energy. The Umbra's shadow loomed, trying to snuff out the light. Ethan closed his eyes, focusing on his memories of Lyra, her strength, and the beauty of Avena. As the crystals absorbed his life force, a blinding light erupted, shattering the Umbra and restoring vitality to the jungle. The Lumina crystals, now glowing brighter than ever, hummed with renewed energy. But when the light faded, Ethan collapsed, lifeless. Lyra rushed to his side, tears streaming down her face. She cradled him, whispering words in her native tongue, words of love and gratitude. The crystals, sensing her grief, responded. A single shard broke away, glowing with an ethereal light. Lyra pressed it to Ethan's chest, willing it to restore him. Moments later, Ethan gasped, his eyes fluttering open. Lyra, she smiled through her tears. You gave us your life, and the crystals gave it back. You are one of us now. Ethan, now imbued with the energy of the crystals, felt a profound connection to Avena and its people. Together, he and Lyra vowed to protect the Lumina crystals and the Amazonian way of life, their bond stronger than ever. In the end, love proved to be the ultimate light against the darkness.